Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow is hosting with lots of pride. Today we're talking about our lovely California. And the previous show, before this, we were talking about our lovely nation with Donald Trump as our president, and with lots of trepidations. Now we're talking about our beautiful California. So with me today is a wonderful individual. He is the representative of the 55th District of Assembly House of California. His name is Philip Chan. Philip, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jack. I truly appreciate that. It's a pleasure to be here.
Very good. And I did my homework, and I found out that you are busy lately with a big issue. That's a Bill 1100. Was that the thing that you're working on now?
Yes, Senator Matt Harper and I have sponsored a bill. It's AB 1100, and AB 110 does the following things. My family are immigrants from Taiwan. Originally they're from China to Taiwan, finally to the United States, but they came here in the 1970s. And during the 1970s, the average house cost was $21,000. Clearly, it's changed over the past couple of years. Now the average median income of a house is $400,000 in the state of California. And unfortunately, our salaries and the cost of housing and homes have not been proportional. With that said, what AB 1100 does is it gives a tax exemption. Tax exemption goes from $7,000 to $25,000. So with that tax exemption, that tax credit, the amount that you would receive annually would be anywhere from $70 to $250. In addition to that, it would be comparable on an annual basis. So what that means is, based on the consumer price index and the cost of your home, it would adjust accordingly every year. So that credit would go to all new and incoming homeowners for years to come.
Very good. This sounds a very beautiful bill. I have a very simple understanding that in a state or in a country, when you can legalize marijuana, you can make laws of like a third bathroom. You certainly can do something with your house homeowners. It is fair or unfair for a house when on this one it says in 1974 a median house costs approximately $21,000. Now you're talking about $450,000. You're talking about a jump of 20 times, right? 20 times. Now you're still paying to doing the numbers of an exemption of the same thing of 43 years ago. That doesn't make sense to me. Right?
You know, like I said before, my parents came here from another country. And as immigrants all across the world, the United States, and especially in California, we are a country of immigrants. And California has become a majority and minority state. And part of that American dream is the dream of finding and owning your own home. And again, the salaries and the cost of living plus the cost of housing has completely become disproportional. So AB 100 does make an effort and to make sure that we can achieve that American dream. So not only does this go to homeowners, but this also goes to renters. Renters across the state of California would also have a proportional tax credit based on how much rent they have and have to pay for on a monthly and annual basis.
I see. For renters, do we have numbers like, say, to rent a median house or just a 2 bedrooms for the year of, to say, 1974 as versus how much it is, the rent for today? Do we have numbers of that?
Those statistics are available for us, but unfortunately, based on those numbers, it is much more difficult to predict based on the location of where we're renting from. From San Francisco to Los Angeles County to Modesto, those numbers are drastically different.
I remember one thing, 30-something years ago, 32 years ago, when I first came, we rented a 2-room, 2-bath, 1 living room on the second floor of the apartment. The rent was $460.
Wow.
And later I upgraded myself to a better apartment for the similar setup for $500 even.
Oh, wow.
They're all in Alhambra, a beautiful city, supposed to be very expensive. Now you're talking about $1,400 easy for that kind of thing. Am I right? So to apply the same law to today's situation, obviously you're losing your dollar value. Am I right?
Correct. I believe that is disproportional. And one of those ways in which you want to amend those is this tax credit. Another thing is that we want to make sure that developers and businesses here in California stay in California.
Good point. Very good point. Very good point. Otherwise, you drive them away because it's too expensive. Right? And I understand that prior to this, there were kind of efforts for several years to push bills like that, the same nature, yet they failed. How many times people failed?
You know, it depends on who you talk to. It has come to committee assignments and not passed committee, but in terms of vetoes, there's been several. And to make sure that California is business friendly, Jack, we need to make sure that we have not only the education tools for our next generation of employees and employers, but also we need to make sure that we don't have unnecessary regulations. We lift unnecessary constraints. Here in the state of California, we need to roll out the red carpet. Right now, what California bureaucrats and government does is we roll out the red tape. That's why you see folks like Boeing, Hewlett-Packard, Toyota fleeing the state of California and going to other states like Texas.
Exactly. That is a very, very ironic fact. So people are leaving California with their business, packing along with, and of course, the next thing you're talking about unemployment. They dump the workers. Right? My dear audience, today with me is my good friend, Philip Chan, Assemblyman of 55th District of California Assembly House, a wonderful man with a beautiful set of mind. He is now co-authoring a bill, wonderful bill. I've never seen bills this grassrooted. I call it grassrooted. Bill 1100. You go check online, you will find out. We need your support. And I believe that it is to be fair to constituents and to be fair to taxpayers, homeowners or renters. You really want to say, hey, back home. Oh, probably I should take a break. When we come back, I have an example to back you up. So stay with us. Hello, my dear folks, my dear fellow Californians. This time, welcome back to the show. Jack Charles hosting with lots of pride. We do care about our own California. If there's a war to talk about, well, maybe important. But if you're talking about your own backyard, though, you better get serious because it's about you yourself. Today, in sharing the concept, in sharing the good attention and good possibility of passing into laws of Bill 1100 is the co-author of the same bill, Mr. Chan, Philip Chan, Assemblyman of 55th District of California Assembly House. So once again, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm getting excited, you see. You can see that, right? I'm getting excited already. The bill proposed a fact, an ironic fact, that you pay much more than 40 years ago for a median house. And yet the tax exemption for homeowners applied still 40-something years ago, which is unfair. Okay. To back you up, sir, when I first came, a stamp cost 17 cents, 19 cents or 17 cents. And then 19, then 22, now it's 41 or 42 or something, right? A pack of cigarettes, $1.25. Now you're talking about $6. So everything goes up. So here, obviously, you're talking about a index, right? So Are you proposing this thing to go along with the index?
Jack, that's a very good point. Yes. What the tax credit and tax exemption would do based on the current proposal AB 1100 with Matt Harper and myself, Assemblyman Matt Harper, is it would have something that is based on the consumer price index. So irregardless of year, it changes the cost of your home, the cost of your house. So it would roll over to the upcoming years. That also means that current homeowners and homeowners to come will be able to utilize this tax credit for themselves to continue to own their home and to purchase new homes.
In other words, to get the burden off their shoulders so that again they can go forward, right? People are hesitating about the cost, high cost already. Was 2-3 days ago, I had the former mayor of Arcadia sitting here with me talking about Arcadia houses, right? Instead of being like a 400, 500, you were talking about $1 million easy nowadays for a median house, right? So it is really an extra burden. Like you said, not only they live a hard life as homeowners, you drive business out, you regulate them out. So in one way or the other, it is really, really something worthy to look at. My dear audience, I'm seriously doing my homework. I really highlighted some important points. And before that, since 1985, about similar to 30 of the similar bills tried to push that way and was denied, never passed. How big is the chance, sir, do you think this time we can succeed? I mean, we, as you can see, I'm in already.
I love it. I love having your input. We need you, Jack.
I'm in already. Yeah, take me in. Yeah. How likely do you think this time we will pass?
Well, in Sacramento, it's about building relationships with not only with folks that are part of your own caucus, but also folks that are across the other aisle. As a Republican member who is a super minority in the state of California, it's more essential than ever to build those relationships. And I think, one, having a 12-year term now with the new requirements for term limits will help that. Before it was 6 years, now it's 12 years. So that means we're in for the longer haul. And we are the last class that will be able to be in for the longer haul for that 12-year period. So that is something in which it forces, I feel, Republicans and Democrats to work together for bipartisan issues. And I think this is a bipartisan issue for the state of California. The other thing is we've already received—
And this is no partisan issue. No partisan at all.
Right,
Everybody needs a house, right?
Correct.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And I agree with you. It's not a partisan issue. And it's something which the state of California faced. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, or independent. The home and the promise of an American dream is the ownership of a home. So that crosses party lines. We've already received support from Assemblymember Marie Waldron, Bill Burrow, Senator Andy Vidak, Senator Scott Wilk. So we are building that support within our own caucus, in which we have more support than previous years past, but also we're reaching across the other aisle to make sure that support is enthusiastic and that it's something which they can go back to the district and talk about the merits of AB 1100.
Okay, very good, very good. I believe, my audience, as you trust me, that I have some kind of a political sense. Doing the job for so many years, I can smell out, right? Sometime, most of the time. When sometimes you push a bill that it has too much of the partisanship in it, though, you might have a chance like 50-50 to get it passed or not. When you propose something that has nothing of that nature, people will think, or people wearing any kind of shoes will think a house is a house. East, west, home is best. You're working for something which is best to you, which is the security, the guarantee of your American dream, of course, number one. If you want to prioritize all the bills, I would say any bills that concerns homeowners' direct benefit, I call it the most grassrooted. Am I right politically? These days we're talking about being politically wrong, or am I right or wrong politically?
No, I think what you say makes sense, right? You talked about and stress about to make sure to have bipartisan issues throughout the state of California in which we can move forward and move the agenda forward. You know, I used to work for LA County Supervisor Mike Antonovich, and I was his health deputy for almost 10 years. And during that process, it was really some place where I was able to cut my teeth and learn about the importance of bipartisanship. Why is that the case? Because in LA County, we have 5 Board of Supervisors. We have 2 Republicans and 3 Democrats when I was there. And to get anything done, you need to vote a 3 or 4 to get your bill, to get your legislation passed in LA County. And when you're in the minority party, as Supervisor Mike Antonovich was, and myself am in the state of California legislature, you have to make sure that you build relationships across the other aisle. So it's not about party affiliation, it's about getting the job done.
Exactly. And by the way, Assemblyman Chen, I really have to appreciate your take, because what happened this morning, I do 2 shows this morning, right? At the previous show, the guest pointed out that this nation, especially the 2 houses, are getting kind of more divided. Okay, more fingers are being pointed. It is you, not me. It is me or you, or something like that, me, you. And on the contrary, you sound pretty much promoting the unity, instead of pointing, say, hey, you Democrat, or me GOP, or like that. So that approach, is that the prevailing culture of our legislator of both houses, or just typically you?
I believe this is a personality issue on individuals. My moral compass and my political agenda and what I believe in public policy-wise will not change. I'm a fiscal conservative. I believe it's important that we save in order we can have the opportunity to invest in social programs or invest in fiscal programs. But like your own household, Jack, if you don't have the money to buy that Porsche that's in your garage perhaps, you're not going to spend that amount.
Yeah,
and the state of California should do the same thing. So no matter what, those principles will stay the same. But it doesn't give me a reason to not invest in relationships, to meet with folks across the other aisle, because that is the only way we can move forward in the state.
I want to share my thoughts with you next time when you are in the House voting, casting your vote. Please adopt something from me if it is worthy doing. I consider what is grassrooted positive, that would have whichever of grassrooted positivity will have no partisanship involved. For example, if we want to say, like this bill, you're talking about benefiting everybody, men, women, Democrat, Republican, whoever, regardless. And I will say, as long as we have support from including my audiences, right? So I believe they watch seriously. Well, there's no question why such bill will not pass. If we cannot pass such a bill, what else could we pass? All right. My dear audience, today I'm really having a good time with the great Assemblyman, Mr. Chen, Assemblyman Chen of the 55th District of California of the Assembly House. We are about to see some twilight. Be ready for that. You will be given a big exemption for being a homeowner. So stay with us. We'll be right back, please. Hello, my dear wonderful audience. Welcome back to the show. Especially when you happen to be my fellow Californians, you are especially welcome, because today we're talking about our own backyard. We're talking about our own California. And in our backyard, we're talking about our backyard, because this is our house we're talking about. You pay too much tax, and you pay too much tax based upon new laws. Of course. And now the tragedy is that you pay too much based upon old laws. That is the contrary, exactly. So today with my good friend, Assemblyman Philip Chen, I'm having a good time. I see some twilight, and I feel positive already. This Bill 1100, AB 1100, co-authored by Matthew Harper and Philip Chan. So it basically tells the fact that you deserve a better treatment when the index grows, right? So I believe, sir, our audience, among audiences, they kind of like me. The moment I saw the bill, I pick up the phone, I call Ali, your assistant. I said, I need to get Philip Chen here. Where is he? Right? Oh yeah, he's available, something like that. My audience, if they had a phone with them right now, they will call. I would bet that. So, in other words, I'm talking about the massive support. For them to reach you, to support this bill though, what do you want them to do?
Well, first and foremost, again, it's a pleasure for me to be here, Jack.
Oh,
Jack Zhao is going to give us the honor and opportunity to be at your show. We jump in at the great request and the opportunity to do that. So, you know what? I've been a California resident my entire adult life. Born and raised here. And I don't know how many years have you been in California?
32.
One of the best states in the country.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, the best.
I never left.
I don't blame you.
Okay.
We have the best weather. We have a majority minority state in which there's a diverse amount of populations that we have here in the state of California. Over 130 languages.
We have San Gabriel, where Caucasians are called foreigners. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you know, it's a diverse state, as you said before, but also a state in which it has a large abundance of natural resources. It's a state in which you drive 30 minutes, you can ski right now. You drive another 30 minutes, you can go and surf in the beach.
You can swim.
With that said, this is a very difficult state to live in. With the increases of taxes, the cost of rent, the cost of living is so high, it truly is, quite frankly, a privilege and honor to live in this state. But it shouldn't be difficult in which it drives Californians to other states. Californians are a customer. We are a customer base, and the government should be able to have policies and procedures and programs that support Californians. And AB 100 does that. If you think that you pay too much in rent, if you think that the cost of your home is too high, and the government is not here to be able to support Californians living in California, AB 100 does just that.
Yeah.
It gives a tax credit for homes and also for renters.
That's beautiful. Do you have website? Do you have anything to sign on? I would rather see something, a form or whatever, support to sign a name on.
Thank you very much for asking. You know, one of the best things you can do is contact your legislator, contact your state senator, contact your state assemblyman, email them, call them, say, you know, I support AB 100, and this is why. Whatever that reason may be, if you think your rent is too high, if you think that the cost of purchasing your home is too high, I urge you to contact your local electeds, because ultimately, as assembly members, as state senators, as your governor, our job is to work for you.
Yeah. So if my audience they choose to call your office, can they call?
Absolutely.
All right.
You can call our office and talk about your opinions of the bill, because we are here at your service.
Very good. And here are the numbers for my audiences, and I believe my editor will show it on the screen. 916-319-2074. Once again, 916-319-2074. And the other one is 916-319-2055. 916-319-2055. Believe me, I never do telephone numbers. I never do oral telephone numbers, but this time.
Thank you,
because
Jack.
I like this bill very much, because it's very grassrooted, right? Okay, is there a website?
Yes, so if you look for the California State Legislature website, you can find all the information for all your assembly members. As you know, we are elected by our district. There's 80 districts, 80 assembly members in the state of California, but ultimately our policies impact the entire state. So if you go to the California State website, you can receive that information of who your assembly member is. You can type it via zip code and find out who you need to contact.
Okay, very good. And also, I noticed that this is the bill that's talking about whole California, right? Not necessarily only your district. So in other words, people or constituents of other districts may support, may express themselves the same thing like people in your own district. Am I right?
You're 100% right.
Okay.
So it impacts the entire state of California, as you said. So with the members in the state Senate, we are elected by our district. And the state of California, the assembly members represent roughly about 500,000 people per assembly district. And for the state Senate, roughly 1 million. However, once you go and become elected, the issues that you make impact the entire state of California, not just that specific district.
All right, my dear audience, I'm very happy to see somebody representing us like Assemblyman Philip Chan. Down to the end of the day, all right, we are always talking about styles, okay? Well, what would I do? What I'm gonna say? Let me give you an example. Somebody marries somebody and then they move to a new location, and the neighbors watch the family and they watch the wife. Right? If the wife started going around, gossiping around, and there's one character. And the other character is that she keeps silent, she try to make the home better or whatever, and try to make a little money, people will respect them. Right? I'm talking about politicians are like housekeepers, if you would agree, right? They keep the house, they make sure that you stay there more comfortably, right? Being politically right, politically, oh my God, such a difficult word. Being politically right is one thing, but being grassrootedly right is the other. You agree with me?
I think grassroots are essential for any political office because ultimately we represent the constituents, the state of California, and the people that are Californians. For me, this idea, AB 1000, is something which Assemblyman Matt Harper was able to introduce and I was able to co-sponsor, but also this came from ideas from the district. Ideas in which come from mom and pop shops, it comes from small business owners, it comes from our law enforcement, that they've come together to talk about some of the issues they're facing. And one of it is rising costs for homeowners, rising costs of these homes and houses, but also the rising costs of rent. So this idea is actually rooted in grassroots.
And I call it, if you may, I call it low key but high value. It has the highest value possible. And I guarantee if my audiences learns about it, they will give you support 100%. Nobody will back up from that point. So this time, let's work it out. Together, we cultivate our own life. Together, we cultivate our own community. Laws are in the hands, as a matter of fact, of ourselves. You support the bills that you choose to support, that's the way to do so. My dear audience, due to time schedule, we can do only this much because Assemblyman Chen has another meeting to attend. Yet, we will together do some work. I trust you because you trust me, all right? Thank you, my audience, for watching. To Philip, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.